Firefox, the web browser, wasn't named after a fox. It was named after a panda.
Hi, I'm Brad Colbo, and this is my new video podcast where I'm going to talk about the history of the web, the internet, and technology. Today, I'm talking about the history of Firefox. Firefox got its start over 10 years ago as part of the Mozilla Foundation. At the time, there was the Mozilla browser suite, and several engineers who were working on it felt that it was getting bogged down based on the requirements that they were receiving from the Netscape team. Oh yeah, that Netscape. In fact, in order to tell the Firefox story, we have to go way back. We have to go to the early 90s, back when browsers were first starting to be developed for the web. In 1993, before Netscape, there was a browser called Mosaic. Mosaic was the very first web browser that could display images. So before Mosaic, there were no images. Surfing the web was just text and hyperlinks. Before Mosaic introduced the image tag, no one had ever dreamed that cats would take over the internet. With this one simple addition, Mosaic became a very popular browser and helped popularize the web in general. Not long after the release of Mosaic in 1994, a couple of the developers got together and started their own company. It was called Netscape. Netscape called their browser Navigator because you're navigating the web. Ahoy! But Navigator wasn't the original name of the browser. The project's first name was Mozilla. The M for Mosaic, and the Ozilla for Godzilla. Is that true? And with better and better browsers like Netscape, the web kept growing. People would just march down the street and go and buy CDs with browsers on them. That's how we rolled in the 90s. So fast forward. Netscape is hugely popular, internet takes off, everybody gets online, there's this big .com bubble, it ends up bursting and a bunch of people lose their jobs, but we got some amazing Super Bowl commercials. There's one that had this little hand puppet dog. But in the middle of this Netscape love fest, something else happened. The evil empire came. No, the other evil empire. No, that's later. Yeah, Microsoft. Now, I do have to say, for its time, Microsoft's Internet Explorer was actually a pretty good browser. In fact, it was so good that it ended up taking over a lot of market share from Netscape. Of course, it didn't hurt that Microsoft was packaging it in with every copies of Windows sold, so there was no reason to go and download a browser like Netscape Navigator. And in 1998, Netscape created the Mozilla Foundation to create an open source version of their Netscape Navigator software. Open source it, they say! The nerds will build it for free, they say! Actually, open sourcing it was a pretty good idea, because that means other companies could jump in and other developers could jump in and they could add to the browser, improve on it, and make it better.
The browser wasn't always called Firefox. Its original title was Phoenix. There was already some software with the name Phoenix, so they changed it to Firebird. But since there was already a software company with that name, they decided to change it again to Firefox. And Firefox was officially released out of beta in 2004. At the time of its release, Microsoft's Internet Explorer had a market share of 90%. By that point, Microsoft Internet Explorer 6 had been out for 3 years, and it would be several more before they released a new version. Microsoft was having a lot of security issues at the time, not just with Internet Explorer 6, but Windows in general. Security experts everywhere were suggesting that you upgrade to a better browser and not use IE6 for pretty much anything. Between 2004 when it was released and 2009 when it peaked, Firefox managed to reach about a 30% global market share. In fact, in some countries like Afghanistan, Firefox is still the most popular browser.
Thanks, Karzai.
Firefox also pushed web standards forward, which let web designers like me create cooler, better, richer apps, and Firefox took everybody by surprise. Nobody expected an open source browser to become so popular, and it paved the way for other browsers to either be built on the same platform or be built on things like WebKit, and opened the doors for companies like Google to think that browser development is a really good idea. Thank you. And I did it. I made it to the end of my very first video blog. Thank you for making it to the end with me. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a little subscribe button down below if you want to see more episodes. I'm going to be churning out about once a month new episode. So go ahead and subscribe. Also, if you have any comments or want to give me any tips on lighting or sound or anything, I don't know what I'm doing. Leave those in the comments down below too. And thank you again for watching.